Wait for a moment. Don't scroll. Because what I'm about to show you, you've seen it before. You just didn't know what you were looking at. She was sitting right in front of you, smiling, talking, acting normal. But something felt off and you ignored it. Hi, I'm Perpetual. I'm a relationship coach. And today I'm going to show you something most men miss their entire lives. Not because it's hidden, but because it happens too fast for untrained eyes. These are not signs she chooses to give you. These are leaks, biological, uncontrollable, micro expressions that escape before her conscious mind can stop them. And once you see them, you don't go back to guessing. You don't go back to confusion. You start understanding. And if you want to understand women at a level where you stop second guessing everything, just subscribe. Not now. Wait until the end, and you'll know if you need this. Let me start by explaining something most people don't realize. The human brain works in layers. The emotional brain, the limbic system, reacts first. The thinking brain, the prefrontal cortex, comes after. There is always a gap, a tiny window where the truth shows itself before the mask comes back on. That window is usually less than half a second. And inside that half second, her body tells you exactly how she feels. Not what she wants you to believe, but what she cannot control. Part 2. The asymmetric snarl, the hidden contempt. Now here is one of the most misunderstood reactions, the asymmetric snarl. You're talking about another woman, maybe casually, maybe even harmlessly. Yeah, there's this girl at work, she's actually really smart. And for a split second, one side of her lip lifts. Not both, just one. Almost like a half smile, but colder. That is not a smile. That's contempt. Here is the psychological explanation behind this. Jealousy is not just insecurity. It's a mix of threat detection, social comparison, ego protection. Her brain is asking, is she better than me? Is he noticing her more? Am I losing position? To protect itself, the brain does something very primitive. It lowers the value of the rival. Here is the biological proof. This expression is controlled by a muscle called the levator labii superioris. It's the same muscle animals use when they bare one side of their teeth. It's ancient, it's automatic, and most importantly, it cannot be faked consistently. Here is the real example. You mention a female friend. She responds, "Oh, that's nice." But right before she says it, her nose tightens slightly. One side of her lip lifts. Then, gone. Back to normal. That first moment, that was real. The words, that was control. Next is the smile that doesn't reach the eyes. This one. This one fools almost everyone because technically she is smiling. Her mouth is wide, teeth showing, voice sounds positive, but her eyes are empty. Here is the psychological explanation. There are two types of smiles. Duchenne smile, real. Non-Duchenne smile, social. A real smile activates both mouth muscles, eye muscles, orbicularis oculi. But when she's under emotional stress, like jealousy, her brain cannot coordinate both because part of her is scanning for threat. Here is the biological proof. The amygdala, your brain's alarm system, is active. It prioritizes survival, not warmth. So instead of relaxing the eyes, it keeps them alert, wide, still, watching. Here is the real example. You show her a picture. There's a girl in it, a bit too close to you. She says, "You guys look so happy." But her eyes, no movement, no softness, no warmth, just observation. That's not shared joy, that's analysis. Next is the disappearing lips. Now, this one is one of the most reliable signals in human behavior because it happens when words are being held back. Her lips disappear. Here is the psychological explanation. This is called lip compression. It's the brain's way of saying, do not speak, because what she wants to say could cause conflict. Here is the biological proof. When stress increases, the sympathetic nervous system activates. Blood flow reduces in non-essential areas. Lips lose color. Muscles tighten. Orbicularis oris. The result? A thin, tight, straight line. Here is the real example. You're talking about a woman who makes you laugh. Mid-sentence, her lips press together, just for a second. Then she adjusts her face, maybe touches her lips, maybe looks away. That moment, that was suppression. She wasn't relaxed. She was holding something back. Next is the blink pattern shift. Now, this one is subtle, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. Her blink rate changes. Here is the psychological explanation. When the brain is under cognitive dissonance, it struggles. Part of her wants to stay calm. Another part sees a threat. That conflict consumes mental energy. Here is the biological proof. Studies show when cortisol, stress hormone, increases, blink rate becomes unstable, either freezing or rapid blinking bursts. This is the brain trying to reset. Here is the real example. You ask, "What do you think about her?" Simple question. But suddenly, she blinks 3 to 4 times quickly, then answers. That delay, that blinking, that was processing, not the question, but the emotion behind it. Next is the truth you must understand. Now listen carefully, because this is where most men get it wrong. These signs do not mean she's toxic. They do not mean she's crazy. They mean she cares. Jealousy is not a weakness. It's a biological attachment signal. It comes from fear of losing connection, fear of replacement, fear of emotional displacement. And if you misunderstand it, you create distance. But if you understand it, you create security. Now let's talk about what you should actually do. You don't call it out. You don't say, "I saw that face, you're jealous." That's confrontation. That triggers defense. Instead, you respond to the emotion, not the expression. And here is what to do instead. Stay calm, reduce tension, give reassurance without overdoing it, maintain your composure. Sometimes just a small shift in your tone is enough, because what she's really asking is, "Am I still your priority?" And your response should answer that without words. To wrap it up, the face doesn't lie, but it doesn't speak loudly either. It whispers in fragments, in half seconds, in things most people ignore. And now you don't ignore them anymore. If you stayed this long, then you already understand something most people don't. So now you can subscribe, not for entertainment, but for awareness. Because next, I'm going to show you something even deeper. Why some women pull away right when you get closer. And if you've ever been confused by that, you're going to want to see it. I'm Perpetual, and I'll see you in the next one.